Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Meadsy69 and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be 121B. It's been buffed. It has been buffed in update 6.7, and it's got a better reload. It's got a slightly better reload, and when I mean slightly, I mean what? It's 6.1, I think, reload now, and it used to be around 6.2 and a half, 6.3. So it's 0.2 seconds. That's not much at all. It's not much at all. To me, I can't really feel the difference too much. It's a tank I love, and it's always been a tank that I loved ever since I've owned the tank. But for me, there is not much reason to play this tank now that the 121, the tech tree version, is just out and outright better than this tank. So a buff was welcome, don't get me wrong, a buff was welcome, and it's still a nice tank, and I'd still like playing the tank, but the 121 is just better than this in every single way. The DPM on this, it used to be around 2,920, and now it's gone to 3,042, so around 120 DPM more. So the buff does push it above the 3,000 mark. But if you look at all the other medium tanks in tier 10, they're looking at around 3,400, 3,300 to 3,600 if you include the Leopard 1, which is the highest DPM medium in the tier 10. So it is still falling below average for tier 10 medium wise, but it's still a nice tank. It's got a nice turret. It's got a nice gun, it's got nice speed, and it's got a lovely camo. The camo, I just think, is one of the best in the game. Is it worth buying? Is it worth buying? Well, they all depend. It all depends if you're a collector, if it's not that much gold. I mean, it's been for sale for quite a few times now. And it all depends if you've got the 121. I mean, if you have the 121, then you can say, well, this then really isn't worth buying. But I still play it. I've got the 121. The 121 is better than this in every single way, but I still play this tank. There's just something about the tank that I like, and it's not just the camo. So it all depends how much money you've got. I mean, I don't want you to go out and waste all your life savings, your pocket money, your week's pocket money for this tank if you have a 121. If you don't have a 121, then maybe this could be worth it. But then again, do you have another tier 10? Because if you guys that are watching are thinking about buying this tank, but your highest tier is, like, if you're fairly new to the game and your highest tier is, say, tier 7, then no, I'm not going to recommend this tank to you, because I think that no tier 10 or tier 9 premium tanks or collectible or enriched tanks should be available to those that don't have a tier 10 in the tech tree. Simple as. I've always stated that these tanks, you should only be able to purchase premium tanks for whatever tier you're at. So if you've only got a tier 6 tank in your garage, you can only purchase a tier 6 premium tank. I've always stated that, and I'm always going to stand by my word. It will never happen because it's money. It's money for wargaming. But I would like to see that. So I'm not going to recommend this if you haven't got a tier 10 tank. I'm definitely not going to recommend it. It's not an easy tank. It's not you roll out and you're going to deal damage. I really enjoy this tank. I do really enjoy this tank. For me, I own pretty much every single other tier 10 premium, or not tier 10 even tech tree tanks. So I'll only recommend that if you do own tier 10, if you've got the money, don't go out getting yourself skint. It is a nice tank. It is a nice tank. So we got 3 battles. One we pretty much nearly finished. Now, I did purchase this on my NA account. I got I got it bought for me from my patrons, or from a Patreon. They sponsor me, BPS clan. I do appreciate Bella and all what she does for me. Her entire clan, they do an awful lot for me, and I do respect what they do, and I do appreciate what they do. So I wanted to get my NA account up and running. Not my CC account, my actual NA account that I made quite a few years ago. And I've never really played it because I got the NA press account, there's been no reason for me to play on this account. But I wanted to join a clan on NA. I wanted to join a clan, and I want to be on NA. I'm on NA quite often. I'm on NA quite often on my press account because I'm always changing my name so I can get footage, etc. But I wanted a new challenge. I wanted to go onto NA, play a lot more on NA, and join a pretty decent clan. And on this account, I only had a tier 6, which was the KV1S. That was the highest tier I had. I did then win a lurver in the crates, in the free crates that you get like on the weekly crates. I won a lurver, great, I can grind some credits. And then BPS kindly said, if you want to go NA, let me buy you this bundle, and at least you can go and get your average damage up, your win rate or whatever. So I did, and I'm having fun in it. And because of I'm really friendly with Rain Clan, I have now joined Rain on the NA server, which is which is the best NA clan in the entire game. So I'm proud to be there. Hopefully I'm going to do well. I don't know if I'll be playing in any tournaments or not. I'm not that good, but it's just nice to sit there and get to know the guys and actually share a clan tag with the guys that I have known for a few years when they was all pretty much in Pramo. So this was one of my first games. This one here it wasn't my first battle in the tank. I think this was about my 4th or 5th battle in the tank, but this was my actual first battle in Rain Clan, and I think I did the clan tag a little bit proud. So it's not an amazing game. It's not an amazing game. It is, however, one of the easiest games in tier 10 I have ever had. It's the enemy. I mean, look at this E100. Look at this E100. He's just given me his bottom plate. Like, thank you very much. I don't even need to shoot gold at you because of the angle you're at. And I'm even bouncing some shots from him. So we're up to 3k damage, and we've actually blocked 1900 damage, which you can do in this tank. Your hull is not so strong. Your hull's not so strong, but your turret is nice and strong. It is nice and strong. And if you can get in those hold down positions, you can get bounces quite comfortably. So we've now bounced 2,200 damage. We're on 3,700 damage, and there's just 4 tanks left alive. The E100's a one shot. The grill is very low hit points there, which we are going to get a shot on, and we're actually going to get the kill from him for our first kill. And now it just leaves the 2 light tanks and this E100. So we're going to rush forward. The E100 donks his shot, and we get a nice on the move shot there. I mean, we only had a tiny bit of his turret, his tracks to see, and we still managed to pen him. So I enjoy this tank. I enjoy this tank. A buff is welcome. A buff is always welcome for tanks that I like to play. But for me personally, I mean, I spoke to TJ. I think it was TJ in Rain Clan, and he said he can feel the difference of the tank. I think it was TJ. But me personally, I can't feel too much of a difference. You're not going to feel too much of a difference between 0.2 reload. It's really nothing at all. It really is nothing at all, but it still gives you that more DPM. It still gives you that extra reload, even if it is ever so slightly. So we're going to move on to our final battle now, and we are watching Fatal Empire, and he is another patron of mine, and he's going to play this brilliantly, and he's going to be very patient. He's going to be very, very patient towards the end. Now, for me, I wouldn't normally be patient. So he's on Normandy map, and he is playing Supremacy. So he's going to try and use the gun depression that it's got. I think it's only got 5 degrees. Is it 5 degrees or 6 degrees? It's not got the greatest of gun depressions. However, it is a Chinese tank. They're not really known to have great gun depression. So it still has a nice turret. It still has a very nice turret, and if he can get into these positions, then he can get the bounces from the team that are the other side, as you can see there from the Chieftain. And he's getting some nice damage in return. I mean, these are not easy shots on this Chieftain. The Chieftain's turret is actually really, really strong. So he's getting some fantastic shots into this Chieftain. He does get shot in for once, but he's done 1,400 damage, and he's only been shot once from that Chieftain. So that was pretty good hit point trading, if you ask me. Probably didn't need to take the shot that he did, but still, nonetheless, he's now bring the Chieftain down to a 1 shot, and he's only taken 1 shot in return. So he's done pretty well. his team are still losing. His team are losing, and now the big tanks are starting to push around. So he now needs to think of where he wants to go. The WZ11114 is poking around, and you can see the accuracy is pretty good on this tank. When you want to aim, the aim time is pretty good on this tank. The dispersion, as I said. So when you want to aim at those little weak points on the hatch, especially on that WZ, it's not too, I mean, you can hit it quite comfortably. And hopefully if you're in sort of a hold down position, they're going to struggle to penetrate you as well. So what the fuck was that missile? So the Sheridan there is just trying to shoot missiles, and I think that just went nowhere near where it was supposed to be. So his team is dying, and it's not looking great at the moment for his team. So 2 tanks down, nice bounce there, 800 bounce, which I'm assuming is from the Jaeger, and that's what this tank can do. Not always, it can't do it always, and as we see there, a 640 bounce. So it can bounce, but you just can't rely on that bounce on your armor. On your turret, yes, you can rely on it, but it can still easily be pennable. I mean, look, he's just bouncing everything that comes his way at the minute. 800, 600, and then 400 plus from that chieftain. But at the moment, he needs to start doing something. They have bring it down to they now have more tanks, and it's 5 against 4. But the enemy have 2 caps. They have 2 bases, so he needs to start clearing these lower hit point tanks, just like the WZ. The Sheridan's up there getting wasted. The KPF is now gone, and it's now a 3-on-4. As you can see, your hull, you're not going to bounce. It's your hull is very weak. It is very weak. So now it's a 3-on-3. It's a 3-on-3. They have managed to cap 1 base, but the Sheridan is only on 34 hit points. But he does take out the waffle, and now the Sheridan is taking care, or taking the attention of this E4, so Fatal can just get behind him, and at the moment he's just farming damage. However, he still needs to be careful because he is now a one-shot to these TDs, but he's just going to pull behind this rock, and now he's taking the attention. Bit risky there, very risky there, because he wanted to speak in the chat, and it almost cost him his life. So very risky indeed. And he's also, again, he's very risky in pushing, and he does get shot in return, and that was lucky. 14 hit points. He got left with 14 hit points, and all that's left now is a Jaeger, but the cap points is going up. And what he wants to do now, he's not greedy. I mean, he's on 5.7k damage, and he's not going to be greedy. So I'm going to speed this up because they're literally, there's not much to show. However, they have taken all the bases. Now they just need to stay alive. But the Jaeger takes out 1 tank, and now, I mean, there's 40 hit points between 2 tanks, and the Jaeger is nearly full hit points. So he's just thinking, well, half hit points. So he's just now thinking, you know what? We don't need to fight that guy. Let's just go cap all the bases. Like, why risk it? And I like that gameplay of I like that game style. Like, what is the point of risking it? I mean, it's very hard to get to that guy. The time run out. They got 1,000 cap points, and they end up winning the game. So that is the 121B. It's still a nice tank. It's a nice welcoming buff, but I just don't feel too much different from now before the buff. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.
With